Welcome to the channel. Today we will discuss the topic. Islam and social justice in world. It share a deep-rooted connection that dates back to the inception of the faith. Social justice is embedded in the very foundation of Islamic teachings, seen as an essential component of the life of a true believer. Islam does not view justice as an abstract ideal but as an actionable, daily practice that must be implemented in personal, social, economic, and political spheres. This approach has historically positioned Islam as a system that advocates for fairness, equal opportunity, and the rights of the oppressed and marginalized in society. From the Quran and the Hadith, we can see that Islam's emphasis on justice is woven into its primary teachings. Justice, or adl in Arabic, is not simply a value but an obligation that Muslims are expected to uphold. The concept of justice in Islam is comprehensive and not limited to specific areas of life. It is seen as a continuous duty that spans across human interactions, governance, and societal organization. Islam teaches that everyone is accountable to Allah, making it a duty to strive toward just actions in all dealings, whether these relate to family, business, or interactions within the larger community. The Quran frequently underscores that Allah loves those who are just and fair. Muslims are commanded to stand for justice even if it is against themselves, their family, or their close relations. The goal here is to ensure that personal interests do not overshadow the rights of others, and that justice remains impartial and equitable. This divine expectation creates a society in which justice is accessible to all, regardless of social or economic status. This framework not only seeks to address social injustices but also to prevent them by encouraging a culture of empathy, responsibility, and integrity. One of the core aspects of social justice in Islam is the protection of human dignity. Islam views all humans as equal, with no one person holding inherent superiority over another, except in piety and good conduct. This principle is reinforced in the Prophet Muhammad's final sermon, where he states that all of you are from Adam and Adam was created from dust. This idea dismantles any concept of racial, ethnic, or social superiority, urging believers to treat each other with respect and kindness. This core belief has acted as a unifying factor for Muslims around the world, bringing together people from different backgrounds under a common framework of justice and equality. Economic justice also plays a central role in Islam's approach to social equity. Islam views wealth as a trust from Allah, which individuals are responsible for using ethically and charitably. Muslims are encouraged to circulate wealth within society, helping to reduce economic disparity. The practice of zakat, one of the 5 pillars of Islam, mandates that Muslims give a portion of their wealth to those in need. This act of charity is intended to help alleviate poverty and ensure that resources are distributed fairly. Unlike voluntary charity, zakat is an obligatory practice that reinforces Islam's commitment to social welfare. By implementing zakat, Islam aims to prevent the accumulation of wealth in the hands of a few and promotes a balanced society where wealth is shared among all members. In addition to zakat, Islam promotes the concept of fair trade and condemns exploitative practices in business. The Quran warns against cheating and deceit, and the Prophet Muhammad emphasized honesty in trade. Islam prohibits usury, as it is seen as a form of exploitation that disproportionately affects the poor. Instead, Islamic finance encourages ethical investing and shared risk between lenders and borrowers. This system is designed to create an economic environment that prioritizes human welfare over profits and discourages practices that contribute to social inequality. Islam also takes a strong stance on gender justice. Although Islamic teachings are sometimes misinterpreted or misused to justify gender inequality, the Quran explicitly affirms the equal worth and dignity of men and women. Islam granted rights to women at a time when such rights were virtually unheard of in many societies. Women were given the right to own property, seek education, work, and inherit. The Prophet Muhammad's actions and teachings further solidified the value of women in society. He was known for treating his wives and daughters with kindness and respect, setting an example for Muslims to follow. Islam advocates for women's empowerment within the framework of modesty and respect, emphasizing that both men and women should be treated with fairness. Justice in Islam also extends to the treatment of non-Muslims. The Quran instructs Muslims to be fair and just toward people of other faiths, highlighting that righteousness is not limited to interactions within the Muslim community. Historically, non-Muslim communities in Muslim-majority societies were often granted autonomy to practice their religions and maintain their customs. This practice reflects the Islamic principle of tolerance and mutual respect, allowing diverse groups to coexist peacefully. The Charter of Medina, an agreement between the Prophet Muhammad and the people of Medina, established a model of pluralism and religious coexistence that provided rights and protections to Muslims, Jews, and others. This example illustrates how Islam values inclusivity and seeks to build a society in which all individuals, regardless of faith, are treated with respect and fairness. Another essential aspect of social justice in Islam is the commitment to the welfare of marginalized groups, including the poor, orphans, and people with disabilities. The Quran repeatedly emphasizes the need to care for these vulnerable groups, calling upon Muslims to show compassion and generosity. The Prophet Muhammad's life is filled with examples of his kindness toward the less fortunate, underscoring the importance of social responsibility. Islam encourages the development of social institutions that provide support and assistance to those in need, thus working toward a more inclusive and compassionate society. The concept of waqf, or charitable endowment, is one way that Muslims have historically contributed to social welfare. Through waqf, individuals can establish trusts that fund education, healthcare, and other services, ensuring that wealth is utilized for the common good. The Islamic justice system also reflects Islam's dedication to social equity. Islamic law, or Sharia, aims to provide justice in a way that preserves the rights and dignity of all individuals. The system is based on principles of fairness, retribution, and forgiveness, with the goal of maintaining social harmony and preventing further harm. Islamic law emphasizes due process and the importance of evidence, ensuring that justice is not carried out arbitrarily. The system also allows for repentance and forgiveness, reflecting Islam's compassionate approach to justice. While there are varying interpretations of Islamic law, the core objective remains the same: to uphold justice and protect society from harm. Environmental justice is another area where Islam's teachings align with social responsibility. The Quran emphasizes the interconnectedness of all creation, urging humans to respect and protect the environment. Islam teaches that the earth is a trust from Allah and that humans are stewards tasked with its preservation. This responsibility includes protecting natural resources, preventing pollution, and ensuring that future generations have access to a healthy environment. Islamic teachings discourage wastefulness and promote sustainable practices, emphasizing that resources should be used in moderation. By promoting environmental stewardship, Islam addresses the social implications of environmental degradation, recognizing that harm to the earth ultimately affects human welfare. Islam's commitment to justice also influences the way Muslims approach global issues, such as poverty, inequality, and human rights. Islamic organizations around the world are actively involved in humanitarian work, providing aid to those affected by poverty, natural disasters, and conflicts. This commitment reflects the Islamic value of ihsan, or doing good, which encourages Muslims to go beyond their basic obligations and contribute positively to society. Through charity, volunteerism, and advocacy, Muslims work toward creating a world that reflects Islamic ideals of justice and compassion. In summary, Islam's teachings on social justice provide a comprehensive framework for addressing inequality and promoting fairness in all areas of life. By emphasizing the principles of accountability, compassion, and responsibility, Islam seeks to create a balanced society where everyone is treated with respect and dignity. Through practices like zakat, fair trade, and environmental stewardship, Islam encourages Muslims to actively contribute to social welfare and work toward a more just and equitable world. This commitment to justice is not only a religious obligation but a path to building a harmonious society where all individuals have the opportunity to thrive. Thanks for watching the channel.